Hi everyone, this is Elena with Glass Factory, and today we are here with Francesca Lombardo. She is a DJ and live performer who has cultivated a sound all her own via an emotional narrative of dreamy soundscapes, stirring melodies, and hypnotic rhythms. So thank you so much for joining us today, Francesca.
Thank you for having me.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about yourself and kind of your background before we get into the interview questions?
Yeah, why not? What would you like to know?
I guess so what sparked your musical inspirations?
What sparks my musical inspiration? That's a good question. Like inspiration comes and goes. So sometimes it's something, every time it's something different, I would say.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously when I travel a lot, when I tour, I get inspired by other people's sets, and by seeing the people in the industry, by seeing the people in the dance floor, and by traveling, I guess, right? And then there are other times that I get inspired, like especially during COVID, because we were forced to be home. We live in a very beautiful area that's surrounded by a lot of parks and woods, so we have a lot of nature around us, even though we're next to the city. So we have that nice compromise. And I guess I was really inspired by just walking in the woods. We'll go every day just walking, and this is why I wrote very slow music during the COVID time, I guess. And yeah, so every time it's something different that inspires you. Like I find that sometimes when I can't find my inspiration, I just look for like videos or like something that is more visual, art, so just going and see some art, as well really helps. It's a lot of different options there. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that you were able to get outside more, I guess, over COVID. I know for me personally, I have a pretty big park right by where I live. And I spent a lot of time there over COVID, whether it was, during the day with my dog or like just watching the sunset from there, which there wasn't really a good place to watch the sunset, but sometimes it was nice just to like sit out in the park and just like enjoy nature and kind of absorb all of that. So I'm glad that you were able to have that just to like keep you kind of grounded throughout the last 2 years, I guess. So Desert Hearts is coming up, and it's actually starts next weekend, Desert Hearts 10th reunion. So how are you feeling about this reunion?
I'm really happy about it. Like I've recently played with the boys in New York, and it was amazing to see them. I haven't seen them in a long time, so I'm very excited. I'm very happy for them. I'm so happy they came this way. Like they came a long way. I played the very first one. I think it was the very first one, and I've never been able to go back since. So
Oh, wow.
so because I know that they've grown a lot, and I mean, even like the first one was amazing, even though I was only there for like a few hours because I was touring really crazy. But I know they have their own energy, and I think the festival is so reflects them as people as well as family, and I know all the history behind it. So I'm so happy and excited for them and for myself to be able to play there. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. Are you so I know you said that you haven't spent a lot of time at the festival yet, but like what would you say, how would you explain kind of the Desert Hearts community to anyone who isn't close to it? What are like maybe three words that you would use to describe that community?
Birds, um, sparkling. Very like I remember all these lights and all these colors. When I went there, that's what really shocked me. Like the way that the production, like it was so special and so simple at the same time, because it was one of I think it was the first one. So, but it's something was there, like some very very beautiful color and lights, and you can really sense the family, that family vibe as well. Like so, you kind of feel safe and you feel at home. You feel like happy. Everyone is super happy and just super relaxed and happy. Everyone is having a great time. So, and it's just really special, you know. I think it's one of the kind. So I think these are my three way of describing it. And the music is great. So I mean, the music is great. We know that because I really like the people, the boys' music when they play. So I just think it's going to be a really special one, this one, because
Mhm.
of the 10 years and also the location. So, yeah, I bet everyone's going to have a great time.
Will you be able to spend some more time there this time? Do you know?
Actually, I'm going to be able to spend some time there. I'm probably going to be there. I'm arriving on the day of my set, but I'll be able to stay until the very end because I'm going to
Okay.
evening next day, which is great because at first I was meant to leave straight after my set, like last time. So, this time I'll be able to stay there. Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, that's fun. You'll be able to actually like enjoy the environment and I'm sure catch up with a lot more people that you've probably not had the opportunity to catch up with in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's so fun. Is there anything that we should keep an eye out for given that it's the 10th anniversary?
I think probably the set of the boys.
Mm,
I have a feeling they're going to be quite special musically, because I mean, I can put myself in their shoes. Like, they must be so excited and happy, and you know, they've been doing this forever together. So I
mhm,
would expect a back to back as well from them, but I'm not sure. This is something I'm making up right now, but like, we'll see, we'll see. But I think this is what I'm really looking forward to do is listening to them playing, you know. So
mhm,
besides that, I'm not really sure what to expect. Like, I know the location is amazing, and it's gonna
mhm.
be special. And but yeah, the music is what I'm mostly looking forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. I do want to touch on like your sound specifically. So I was listening to Life of Leap and then Horizon as well. So I feel like, at least from my perspective, I feel like you had two very different sounds in both of those projects where like Life of Leaf is a little bit more what I would call like organic and like um you had a lot of like vocals and like orchestral elements in it, but then Horizon had more of I would call like I would say it's like techno, just like deep techno energy with like more experimental sounds. And I know you had said that like you kind of pull influences from whatever is around you at the time. So, what would you attribute the change in sound between those two projects to?
Exactly. It's the fact that I like a lot of things. um, I mean, I've always DJed since I was like since 1999. I've been DJing, but before that I was already like writing music, and I was uh, playing in bands, and I was singing. I studied music. I studied classical music. So and then I got into like so before DJing, I got into electronic music just before writing and electronic music, and I got to visit a studio to see like synthesize, get to know synthesizers, and the DJ thing came after, and it for me the DJ thing was always fun. It was like the techno came after the electronic music. So like techno for me was always fun. Was never going to be my job. I was just doing it literally for fun, and then it actually ultimately became a job.
Mhm.
Let's call it a job, whatever we want to call it. It's still fun, and that's when I started to wanted to write that kind of music, because obviously, so I started to DJ that kind of music. I needed to write that kind of music as well. So I think that's what happened, and I still carry with me my first self, which is the one that wants to make this electronic music and wants to get inspired by sounds and synthesizers, and that makes something different, completely unique. And I still have that baby within me who wants to party, who wants to do this and this and this, and it takes, I always think of it as fun. you know. So
Mhm.
I think I'm never gonna stop doing both of them. Like I literally like I bounce from one track to the other, like back and forth, you know, like from one style to the other. I've often thought about like getting different names for different projects, but then I thought like, you know, it's me. This is the
Yeah.
way I am. It's just really confusing for people. I guess eventually they're gonna get to understand that I have two sides of myself, two sides of me, you know. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a third side, like a lot of other artists do, but they usually use different names. That's what it is like, and I'm just haven't been that clever. But yeah, so this is what it is, I guess. I'm glad that you actually recognize that as well, that you started it. Yeah, that's nice to know.
Yeah, I think that artists, I think it depends, right? Because I know some artists who have tried to explore different sounds under the same name and have gotten like quite a bit of backlash just from the fact that like it's not the sound that they might attribute to that artist.
Mhm.
Um, but also at the same time, I think that artists should have the the creative license to explore the different parts of themselves. So I don't think you necessarily have to do it under a different name. I think, because at the end of the day, like there's still the electronic elements, like the techno house elements that kind of like tie everything together. But I think it just depends on like what direction you end up going with like certain projects or certain songs.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
So you're also a vocalist, so you are singing on your own tracks. When you're getting ready to perform a set, for example, and I don't know, do you sing in your live sets?
Not my DJ sets, no. I've always, I mean, I've done it like a few times because people ask me to like maybe like a track. I would just sing a track. I've always thought that it was incompatible in a way. Like if you're a
Mhm.
DJ, also DJing, and I always wanted to sing just on my live set, which would be like my live relief or yeah. So I haven't done it like especially recently. I think the last time I did it was for Robo Heart during uh, during Burning Man in 2014 or 15. Yeah, that was the last time, and it was like, and every time I did, it was like everyone just so happy about it, you know.
Mhm.
And sometimes I think maybe I should let go and do it more, you know, like because people do love it, you know, except that I haven't really written a track with my vocals on dance floor.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I like to sing with a band behind me or like with some instruments on stage. That fulfills me more than having to sing and then having to mix the track next. Not because I can't, not because it's difficult. It's not that like I can do it, but it's just like just doesn't fit. And also, you're
Mhm.
singing over like a backing track, basically, right? So it's like that live element is missing. It's a different type of life.
I
So
got you.
yeah. Mm.
So when you are getting ready for like a set, so for example, with your like Desert Heart set, how do you go about like crafting your set and deciding like how you want kind of what you want people to walk away with or the energy that you want to bring?
I can't. Usually, I can't prepare in advance. Like, what I do on the day of the gig, I'll just have this feeling like whatever. So if I land somewhere, like, well, imagine I land in LA, so I have like 1 hour and a half to get to Desert Hearts. I'll probably go through some of my music
Mm.
I already have. I usually buy new music every week, so I always have like new music. And I just get this feeling about, you know, on the way to the gig, you always start getting that feeling about, oh, what I would love to play. So yeah, I made like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I made like a folder of like 100 tracks, which eventually I don't even touch when I get there. You know, thinking that I'm gonna play some of these tracks, and I always end up playing different tracks. So it's like you kind of get the real feeling of what you should be playing or what you want to play and what people want to hear. You get it when you get on behind the decks, you know. It's hard to plan it, you know, because once you plan
Mhm.
it, and if you follow what you planned, you get stuck in it. So you're actually not listening to the crowd, you're just listening to your playlists, which is really sad to do because you only have one opportunity to do that in front of that kind of crowd. So why spoil it, you know? So I don't really prepare, basically, having said that. I just want to, let's call it refreshing my memory about the music that I have, you know? But that's all about it. Like, I just can't prepare for anything. Like, unless it's a live set with, you know, like a proper, you know, live, not
Mhm.
playing, that I, of course, we do. We practice in advance, but like DJ, no. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely I have a lot of respect for DJs because I know for me, like I can't I need to have things prepared. I can't do anything just off the cuff. I can't do it. I can for like some interviews.
You mean like everyday stuff, or like you don't? You're talking about DJing or anything else?
Oh, no, not DJing. I am not musically inclined in any way.
I guess when it's music involved, unless it's your music, so you have to prepare
Mhm.
if you want to play it live. But when it's DJing, it makes sense. You know, it's the freedom of music. You know, it's the freedom of being able to play whatever you and the crowd feel like, because you kind of connect with the
Yeah.
crowd. So it's, you know, like if you, yeah, I think so. So like, you know, it makes sense the way you were saying it. Like I need to prepare myself for to wake up in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Like, but when it comes to DJ sets, it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think it's important for DJs to be able to read a crowd and like play to the crowd too. So I do want to talk about kind of like, so based on kind of your Life of Leaf LP, but then also some of the things that you mentioned earlier, like it seems like nature has a really big part to play in your life. And then with your Life of Leaf, you also had launched a Life of Relief campaign. So can you talk to us about like the importance of nature in your personal life?
Yeah. I've always been very attached to nature, like since I was a kid. Maybe because I was born like next to a lake in the middle of a countryside. So, I mean, me and my friends used to go. We like where I was born. Like we have those hills which are kind of popular, and like they're beautiful. So we used to go and like camp on the hills and stay like nights and have parties there, like, and so we really, I mean, always like in the middle of nature. And I just I just feel very close to it, like it's so pure, you know. And so I wanted to do something together with my team. We wanted to do something that would help nature, and we do something for nature. So we decided to launch this environmental campaign. uh, Basically, this campaign aims to mobilize the dance music community, and especially because we thought that by flying so much, like, so the environmental cost, you know, associated with the music itself, like
Mhm.
so high. So like we kind of felt we need to give something back, and we need to mobilize the dance music industry to give something back to. So we decided to plant tree and work with reforestation around the world, and we partner up with these guys called One Tree Planted, which are doing their job really well. I mean, we had different options, but we decided to go with them just because of the way they work. But they work with locals, so they give locals the job, so locals know about the, you know, what kind of plants need to be planted. So or they always plant the right plants around the world. You can choose where you, so like everyone could have made a donation, or like we would ask the DJs and the artists to give like one tree for no, sorry, a percent, like a 1% or 3% of their fee, and then we would ask the promoters to give one euros or $1, £1 for each ticket sold
Mm.
at the venue. And so when that happened, so the venue could have chosen where they wanted to plant trees, and even the DJs, they could have chosen. So I'll give you this donation, but I want these trees to be planted this, there. I mean, no one actually ever did, because like you plant it anywhere, like unless you're really close to some place. I did actually, but yeah. So that was it. Like, and then obviously, uh, trees are really important. So yeah, it's good. And also with all the accidents that have been happening, like a lot of fires and a lot of forests have been destroyed, we kind of felt the urge to do this. So we've been doing this for a few years, not like maybe 3 years, and unfortunately COVID hit. So we kind of didn't have any way of, you know, collecting money from, the dance music community anymore. But yeah, that's it. So we're still doing it. So
So, from your perspective, what is an everyday action each of us can take in support of a cleaner and healthier planet?
there's so many things that we can do. Like, obviously, one of them I always think, especially living in France, is so easy for me to do. But I understand, like, when people, they live in different other places, maybe it's going to be harder. But we source our food locally, so like we try to eat what is being cultivated next door, kind of thing. Like the closest, the less, you
Mhm.
are wasting, like in terms of carbons, oxide, like with everything. Like, so like that's the main thing, like for you to just make sure that you eat locally and shop locally. Also, what we like to do is to recycle our water in some ways.
Okay.
So, for instance, we have the humidifiers, and whenever the water gets filled up, like in the humidifier, we use the same water to water plants, and stuff like that. We have recently completely cut the plastic bottles. So now we have like the glass tanks with crystals inside.
Mm.
Yeah, like massive bottles, like what, like obviously you need to get like a massive bottle of plastic. We fill up this tank, and we just drink from there, which is really nice to do, because like the amount of bottles that we used to buy for no reason. And there's so many things. Like even just recycling clothing is a good thing to do, like, and yeah, switch off your lights. It's like a massive amount to do. And I always say, like, some people get angry, because like of flying too much around, and obviously we can't be doing everything, like we can optimize our life, but we cannot be perfect. Otherwise we wouldn't exist. We are humans, so we need this, to source some energies. We need to, but we can just be organized to do the best that we can do, and just, yeah, by being connected to one of those campaigns as well, like, just campaigns and help, and do whatever you can to just do something every day, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's important for people to realize that, yeah, we can't do 100%, but if we can do the best that we can, and nobody's perfect, even when it comes to sustainability, especially when it comes to sustainability, nobody's perfect. So I do love that you mentioned that. So I know that, the festival is next weekend, so I'm sure, you're probably really focused on that, but what other projects are you working on that we can look forward to?
Um, well, watch out for this remix I did of actually Monkey Lion, which is coming out soon. It's actually connected to the nature as well.
Okay.
Watch out for that. It has a history behind it, which is probably going to explain it once it's out. So I don't want to spoil them. And so what I'm working on a bunch of music at the moment. And so I have a few releases coming out. I can't really say. But yeah, literally mainly just music. So yeah, not much to that I can tell you.
That's okay. We'll keep an eye out. Just generally keep an eye out for your music. Um, is there anything else you would like to share with us today?
Not really. I just want to say to the people that are coming to Desert Hearts that I come. I'm just really looking forward, and I hope that we can all get connected, have a great time, and just do it consciously. And it's gonna be a very powerful, beautiful location. So yeah, just really looking forward to it.
So fun. I hope you have fun at that. So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Good luck with Desert Hearts. I hope you're able to enjoy yourself, and I look forward to hearing more of your releases.